Hi guys, it's Toby here. I'm the owner and founder of the Small Biz Academy. We specialize in helping you as business owners learn and implement the fundamental principles that make a business successful. They give you the foundation for you to build your business and massively improve your odds of success. That's what we teach in the Academy, which is our group training program. It's also what we do when we work one-on-one with our clients, and we also do bite-sized courses if you need help in a specific area with some of these principles. In this video, I'm going to go through the principles that relate to the first chunk, and that is understanding and mastering your money. So we're going to go for exactly what you need to do in your business to help you massively improve your results. And this is then what we teach and what we help implement in our coaching programs, including the Academy and our one-on-one coaching programs. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so what we've got in front of us here is the framework for the whole program. So it shows everything we do in the Academy and in our one-on-one coaching programs to make sure you have the fundamental principles implemented into your business. So this focuses on 3 key areas and fixing 3 key problems in your business. So that's obviously the lack of money, so getting control of your money, money mastery, the lack of growth and getting control of your growth with growth mastery, and your lack of people and getting control and mastering the people side of the business. What I'm going to go through here is go through the fundamental principles that you need to focus on from a money point of view. So this is what you need to do to get in control of your money. Now, all these principles are important in your business. Some are more important than others, depending where you are in your life cycle of your business. But fundamentally speaking, is numbers are the language of business. They show you what's working and what's not. That's why it's really important that you get in control of your numbers. They will give you the foundation to be able to look at your business to know what's working and what's not working, and then helps you to make better decisions about what you need to do to fix it. Otherwise, you're making decisions based on your gut instinct or your own personal biases. So we've all got bias, and what tends to happen is when we look at information, we tend to see it with our bias in mind. So if we're not looking at objective numbers from a business point of view, sometimes we can miss the obvious, and that can be absolutely detrimental to your business. Now, you don't have to be an accountant, you don't have to be an expert in your numbers, but you need to understand some of the language. I remember many years ago, my brother lived in China. We went to visit him. At the time, we had very young children, and he was in Shanghai, and this was back in 2003, 2002. So it was an amazing visit, but nobody there spoke English. So we were walking around not being able to communicate with anybody. My brother taught us a couple of words for us to get by so we could understand or ask for things if need be, including his address, so we could always get home if we were stuck. That is like you in business. You need to understand some of the key elements from the numbers, but then you still need the expert there. So my brother could talk fluent Mandarin, so we had him there to support us as well. He understood the language fluently. Now you need to understand the language of business, the numbers, in a way that gets you by to help you make better decisions, but still have the support of your accountant, of your coach who understands the language fluently and who can guide you in the right direction. But that's why it's really important to get the numbers right and understand what they mean. And I've seen it time and time again where you've got businesses that are being successful or they get into trouble, and it's always the numbers that need to drive those decisions. And when you do that, you get in a much better position. I had a client which we're working with at the moment. Obviously, we're very focused on the numbers. We know what their margins are. We know what their sales need to be. We know what their break even is. We understand exactly where we are from a financial point of view. Now, he's got competition, and that competition is very much focused on the growth side of things. And it's quite entrepreneurial. So often, entrepreneurs will be good at marketing. So putting themselves out there and getting the sales. But if you haven't got the numbers right, if you don't know whether you're making a profit or not, or the deals you're doing, or the pricing's right, or you're covering all your costs properly, you can get yourself into trouble very quickly. And that's what their competition did. They blew up, but then they died and fell over very quickly because they didn't have a lot of this foundational stuff in place. But let's break that down to the 3 key areas you need to focus on to master your money, and what areas we focus on when we're teaching and helping you implement this into your business. Now, number 1 is profit mastery. So we need to look at your profit, and we kind of break that down into 2 areas: break even and budgets. Now, this is often the first place I start when I'm working with a client one-on-one. And it's often the first place you need to start, and that's understanding what your break even is. So break even will tell you exactly how many sales you need to do each day, week, month, and year to cover your costs. You can also calculate what we call your profit break even as well, which will tell you the sales you need to do each day, week, month, and year to reach your profit targets. By calculating that properly, it means you as a business owner know exactly where you're at each day. You know whether you've had a good day or a bad day. You know whether you've made profit or not. You don't have to wait for your bookkeeper or your accountant to give you a profit and loss account at the end of the month, days or weeks after the event. You know each day whether you're on track or not. So that really helps you get a grasp on your numbers very quickly and very easily. You know whether you're making profit that day or not. Part of what you do when you calculate your break even is you are reviewing what your fixed costs are for running the business. So you know exactly how much it costs you to run your business. You are looking at your gross profit margins. So you know exactly how much of your sales left after you've paid your cost of sales. And they're 2 really important key things that if you know, you can then calculate your break even and understand whether you're in a profit situation or not. Another thing it helps you do is it helps you to understand whether you can afford to invest in new things or new people for your business too. Often a question I get from a business owner is that I need to employ a new marketing person. Can we afford it? The break even tells you what you can afford or not. If your current break even per day is $1,000 and you're doing 2,000, there's some fat in that. So you can probably invest in something that's going to help you build that 2,000 even further. But that's the first thing to get a grip on it, is your break even. Then you need to prepare your budgets and forecasts, both for the business and you personally. You need to know what your costs are for running the business and for paying your day-to-day personal life as well. The goal of this is to set you up in a position where your business is paying for your lifestyle and then providing you extra cash that then you invest to build your wealth. But we need to know exactly what that looks like. So we need to know right now, how much is the business paying you? Right now, your personal life, how much is that costing you? All right, it doesn't matter how much it's costing you. It doesn't matter. It's not to criticize your extravagant lifestyle that you might be leading. It's not that at all. It's about knowing exactly how much it is costing you. I have had situations where when we have done budgets, the business is struggling to make a profit and the owner thinks they're not taking much money from the business. When we actually tot it up, they are taking quite a lot. So they're paying a big chunk of their lives from the business and it's choking the business. Now, they just weren't aware of it because the business paid them in obviously different ways. But once we added it all up, we could quite clearly see that, okay, we need to make some adjustments there, otherwise you're not going to get ahead. But the whole point of that is to then understand, okay, this is what it costs us to live personally, this is what it costs us to run the business, this is the sales targets that we need to reach, these are the margin targets we need to reach. We've now got financial goals. We can now use that to then compare our results each day, week, month, and year to see how on track we are. But that's the first step, is getting in control of your profit and mastering your profit. The next most important thing that you need to know and understand as a business owner from a money's point of view is your cash. Now in business, profit is the reason you are in business. It's the most important thing. It's why you're doing this. It's to make a profit. And that's why we focus on profit first. And that needs to be a profit above and beyond just paying for your lifestyle. It needs to improve your wealth so that over time you build wealth that will give you a passive income. So that's really important. That's why we start there. But cash is also king. So as the saying goes, turnover's vanity, profit is sanity, cash is king. And cash is king because if you run out of cash, your business is gone. You could have a very profitable business and still run out of cash and go out of business. So this is why it's really important you're in control of your business. Cash is different to profit. And most business owners don't do anything with their cash, and it can get them in all sorts of trouble. So that's why it's really important and fundamental to get that right. But it doesn't have to be too complicated. Like I said, it's not about making you an accountant, it's making you enough language for you to get by when you're in China and everyone's talking a different language. So there's two key areas we look at when we're looking at cash. We do what we call closing your cash gap and having a weekly cash flow forecast. Now the cash gap is really talking about and looking at when you get paid versus when you pay your money out. So in accounting world, it's working capital management. It's really just how quickly your money moves around. If you think about it, it's probably easy actually to give you an example. I had a client, this is way back, in the UK, they had won a contract with Tesco's to sell branded USB sticks. USB sticks were very new at the time. Yes, I've been doing this a while. But it was a huge contract for them to win. They were a small business and it was an amazing achievement. But when they came to us, they were in financial trouble. We looked at their profit and loss account and it was showing a good, healthy profit. Sales were strong, profits were strong. They were, from a profit point of view, cooking on gas. But they had no money. And the reason why they had no money is because of their cash gap. So for them, they were importing their stock from China. They had to pay for that before it even left the ports. So money's gone out the door straight away. It then takes 60 days for that to arrive on a boat and get to them. When it gets to them, they've still got to do a bit of work on the products. There's a bit of work that needs to be done in branding that stock up. Then that stock is sent to Tesco's. Tesco's take 90 days before they pay their bill. So 3 months. So you can see here, their money went out the door day one. Now they then have to wait 30, 60 days for that, plus another 90. So it's like 150 days is their cash gap. That is huge. And that's an extreme example, but they're not managing their cash gap. And as they grow, the business needs more money because it has to fund that growth. So it can't self-fund. It has to close that cash gap. And that's what we need to do in your business. We need to work out, okay, on average, how long does it take for your stock to arrive or your service to be completed? So that's work in progress, stock management. How long before people pay you? How quickly do you pay your suppliers and your team? And what is your cash gap? And then looking at ways for us to reduce that cash gap so ultimately you can fund your own growth and you don't get into trouble like these guys did. So that's what we do in the academy. We look at what your cash gap is, calculate where you're at, and then look at strategies to help you close that cash gap. Now for this client, what we did there is we put some credit finance in for the purchase. So the bank will fund that purchase. They'll pay the bill for them and give them 30, 60, 90 days to pay it back. That cash gap's gone. And then we did debtor finance for them. I'm not a massive fan of debtor finance, but it worked for them, which meant as soon as they issued an invoice, they got 80 or 85% of that paid straight down. And that helped close their cash gap and enable them to continue on their growth trajectory. So that's why it's really important you get that right. And it's all types of businesses get into trouble. I've got another example here, just working with a builder at the moment. They build granny flats, and we're making sure the projects are always ahead from a cash flow point of view. Builders can get into big trouble, especially if something gets delayed, but also if they're self-funding projects. So it's really important that cash gap's closed. Then the other part of getting control of your cash is then cash flow management and cash flow forecast. So I use a simple template, a weekly cash flow forecast template, which all my clients use. And most people, when they start doing it, they go, "Oh, Toby, why are you getting me to do this? This is, I don't understand it. This is not helping me." But once they get over that learning hump, they go, "Oh, I can't live without it. I don't know how I live without it." I don't know how people live without it either. It's a simple 12-week cash flow forecast, which forecasts what your cash flow is going to look like over the next 12 weeks. We also then make sure you've got separate bank accounts set up to assign money that you need for later on and get it out your main bank account. So that could be for tax, GST, BAS, all of that stuff. It could also be for profit. So we do that as well. So we have a profit account. Get it out your main bank account. Because what tends to happen, and most business owners do this, they kind of manage their cash flow by looking at the bank account. And if their bank account's nice, big and fat, they think, "Oh, we got money," and they start spending it. And it's a false economy because you've got a BAS bill coming, or you're not taking your profit yet. And what tends to happen is people get to the end of the year and they go, "Oh, you made 500,000 profit." And they go, "Where is it? I've got no money." But if you sign it and take it out, it's a psychological trick. You don't spend the money so much. I was with a client last week where we've done that. We've put money aside for BAS, we put money aside for profit, and we just got the main bank account. The beauty of it is the owners kind of forget. And they're panicking, going, "Oh, we've only got X amount in the bank." When I added up all their bank balances, I said, "You've got over $500,000 in cash in your bank accounts." And most business owners do not have that. You're well equipped because you've put the money aside for what you need. And that could include stock and stuff like that as well. But then also we're getting a weekly cash flow forecast, which is updated each week, so we can keep an eye on exactly where that cash flow is. And it closes the gap from profit to cash, to making sure that you're putting that cash aside so you can improve your wealth. And then you can work out with your accountant the best way to get it out your business. But that's what you need to do there. Okay, let's now look at the final area for you to get in control of your money and master your money. And that's managing your data. So this is then your information that we are getting from your business to know how we are tracking. And again, there's two parts to this. One is setting up your reporting. So let's go reporting. And the other then is your team. So making sure you've got the right team in place to help with that. So your reporting really starts off with, first and foremost, getting, and what we use is a business dashboard. So we've got a business dashboard which shows the key results on a weekly basis, sometimes daily, depending where your business is. You've got daily or weekly stuff where you're looking at your key results, which obviously is everything really down to gross profit and what drives that. So for example, you could include your sales, you could include the number of orders, number of sales, average order value, your cost of sales, your gross profit, those types of stats. Now you might add on to that as well number of leads, even website visitors, conversion on websites, depending where your business is. But there's going to be some stats that you need to know as a business owner on a daily or weekly basis. And you need to be reviewing that at least weekly, looking at your results and comparing to that what you put together in the budget. So you've got a budget for your forecasted sales and forecasted gross profit. You want to be comparing that each week. So you know whether you've had a good week or not. And also you can work out if there is an issue, where is the issue? Is our conversion rate gone down? Is the number of leads we've got gone down? As an example, I was with a client, and this was probably a couple of months ago, we noticed the leads were going down and the visitors to the website were going down. And we've got it as a well-oiled machine. We know we need X amount of leads a month. We know our conversion rate is X, which will give us X amount of jobs, which at the average job value will give us the sales we want for that week or that month. So as soon as we can see that going down, we know that's going to have a flow-on effect to all the other numbers. So what we do is then go, okay, let's look at a strategy of what we can do to improve that. So we just looked at, they weren't doing Google Ads, so we just implemented a Google Ads strategy to increase the traffic to the website, which in turn increased the number of leads which got us back up to where we wanted to be again. Now, we got that information because we were reviewing that data on a weekly basis. And we jumped on and reviewed it together each week, so we knew exactly where we were at, and then we can make changes. Instead of waiting 3 months and then having poor sales for 3 months, we saw it straight away and fixed it. And that's why it's important you look at the data and you look at that on a regular basis and see how things are going and make changes as required. On top of that, then you need to then look at monthly reporting, which basically should be your profit and loss account and balance sheet from your accounting software, comparing it to your budget. So you know exactly what your sales and profit budgets were. Are we on track or not? Where have we overspent? Why have we overspent? Why are we doing better in that area instead of that area? And analysing that information so you know what's going on. Now, to be able to get that comes to the second point, and that's you need the right team in place to help you do that. So one of the key things we help you do is make sure you get the right bookkeeper for your business and you get the right accountant who can support you. Your bookkeeper needs to be able to provide some of that information that you need, and you need to be confident they can do it. And ideally, you as the owner should not be doing the bookkeeping. The amount of times I've seen business owners work with business where the business owner is doing the bookkeeping. Bookkeepers are a dime a dozen. They are skilled at it. They do it each day. They know what they're doing. Hire a bookkeeper, get your time back, and focus on growing the business instead. And then get them to produce your reports for you. It's also important you have a good accountant there to support you as well. So we guide you in helping you get and choosing the right accountant for your business. So that's what you need to do to master and get in control of your money, and that's what we help you do in the Academy and our one-on-one coaching programs. But this gives you an idea of what you need to do. There is a bit more of a detailed breakdown on the checklist. So on the checklist on my website, a 21-step business success checklist, that will help you kind of go through and tick off exactly what you have got versus what you haven't got. And that's what we use when we're working with you to help you make sure you've got the fundamentals in place for your business. But that's the money side. The other areas then are the growth and the people, which I'll do in a separate video. I hope you found that useful and helping you understand what you need to do in your business to get in control of your money, the fundamental foundation of a successful business. Like I said, it's not about making you an accountant. You wouldn't want to be an accountant like me. It is about giving you the basics like I had when I went to China, so you understand or you can get around and make better decisions. So if you want any help with this, please make sure you check out the Academy or the one-on-one coaching programs, or you can ask questions below. And if you like this type of training, then make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel where there's plenty more. And I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Cheers.